they were very interested. I made written reports about all of the different radar information that was available and what our projections were.
Yes,
And
that is
so
important.
I went on down to Orlando then. They sent me on back there. And I got there, they said my orders were cut for me to go back to New Guinea. So I got back on the airplane.
What rank were you by now?
I was a captain.
Okay.
So I got back to New Guinea, and I met Colonel Harvey in Brisbane. He said, we've got a bunch of radar battalions here that are coming to New Guinea. We need to train them on what they're going to do when they get there. You set a school up here. So I got a school there at Brisbane in the Army, in the U.S. Army camp, and we set a school up, and we trained for a month, 6 weeks. These students, we went through every day, lectured on what they were going to run into and how they would operate the units and all of these things. Now they had new units out now. They were using American units. They were made by GE and Westinghouse.
Were they better than?
Yes, in some respects they had new techniques and
Because
things
they learned new techniques,
things that had developed.
Yeah.
And it was real good. It was good for me too. I enjoyed it myself. Then I went on up, and 5th Fighter Command had already moved. The war had speeded up. So just in a month or two that I'd been gone.
Yeah.
And 5th Fighter Command had moved from Port Moresby to what place called Nadzab. We had taken Ley. We owned Ley now.
Yeah.
And this was about 10 or 15 miles up the Markham River. It was called Nadzab. And we had developed an airport called Silly Silly. It was a Jap native village. They put an airstrip in up there near Nadzab.
And what year was this, do you remember?
This was in February of 1944.
Okay.
1944.
Okay.
Then we stayed there, and my job was to place these radar battalions at strategic locations. Well, I hadn't more gotten started at this till we moved again. And we moved us in B-24s. Moved the whole 5th Fighter Command headquarters.
So back to square
So
one.
we moved from Nadzab to Goosap. Now Goosap's on the Ramu River, just over the mountains, with the water flowing to the northwest. Water on the other side of the mountain flew to the southeast, I guess, towards Ley. Above here was flowing up toward Hollandia.
Continental divide. So.
That's right. So we were on the Ramu River, very rapid river, and we stayed there. February we were in Nadzab, March, maybe April we were in Goosap. Then about the 1st of June or sometime in May we moved to Hollandia. Now we had taken Hollandia. This was a big Jap base. They had big strips there that the Japs had built, and we were using those strips. And I had to get infantry squads to go out with every signal battalion. We had about 90 men in the signal battalion. Infantry squad would have 16 men in it. And they were supposed to know how to shoot. And I remember when we were down in New Guinea, we went to Wakati Island. Maybe this was later we went to Wakati Island. We sent a radar battalion of 90 men out with a landing group of infantry. And he set a parameter up, and they didn't think our radar people would be very good at shooting, so they put them on the end of the line. And when the Japs came out of their foxholes at night and made their banzai charges, they were about where the infantry down, and we had 4 air-cooled anti-aircraft guns with these boys. And they turned them down. And they moved them out further with the infantry, because the infantry was getting hard pressed. And they loaded the Japs up a foot or so in front of them. And when they got through shooting and finally turned the Japs back, the 4 guns just melted and turned down.
They heated up that much.
They shot so hard and so fast. But they saved the infantry. They saved the infantry that day at Wakati Island because.
Were you involved in that?
I didn't go. I set them both.
Okay. You got very close to some of this combat. Did you ever get in it?
Oh yes, in the Philippines. And then we got to Hollandia, and I was told I was going to land at Ley.
Yeah.
So we, not at Ley, at Lady Island.
Yeah.
Which was the first landing. Landed there October the 20th, 1944. I went in on D+4. Various convoys went in sequence. We went in on D+4, went right into the main, and we had already landed a radar group on a little island there in Lady Harbor. We had them, and we'd gotten information back from them. We had sent submarines that brought some of our people back to us, and they said they landed there, and